I'm Gavin, and welcome to MLS Fantasy Picks.
Hey everyone, in today's video we'll do a recap of round 7, look into some key considerations for round 8, and then as usual get into the player picks and tiers. Taking a look at how I did round 7, it was okay. I finished on 69 points, so my week rank was 2,333. My overall rank currently sits at 522 with my total score at 476. So yeah, it was an okay week for me. I was finally pleased to see that I got some clean sheets, which is great. My switcheroos really didn't hit at all. I ended up taking Kalina's 4 just because Ustari, wasn't starting for Miami, and I didn't really have any budget to move to calendar. Wouldn't have mattered anyway. So a bit disappointing on the front here for my Union guys. And then I'd say the biggest disappointment for me this week was my captain of Rusnak. So I originally had Evander as my captain, but of course he didn't start. So I swapped in McGlynn, which was a great change. And then I thought Rusnak, being the best player, solid floor, high ceiling, good captain pick. And I think he got injured, so unfortunate to see. Hope he gets better soon. Landed on, at least he got me 2 points at the end of the half since he got subbed. So I at least got 4. But yeah, Messi showed up, Benteke. I think the biggest disappointments this week were Acosta and Ojeda. And then, last game I saw Frey was starting. Thought it was worth, shooting for that clean sheet. But he was subbed out at the half. And Toronto scored. So that's how my week 7 went. So taking a look at our official MLS Fantasy Picks leagues, we do have some changes up in the top 5. So great to see that. And wow, 113 points. So I'm even going to try to pronounce this just because that score was so fantastic. Nabla Besquende FC. No idea if I said that right, but congrats on your 113. That is awesome to see. And then we've got our Clover Street Ultras, Darda FC, Latte with Extra Loth, and Cruisin' like Tony. So congrats to the top 5. Taking a look at our head-to-head leagues, we've got 4 undefeated teams so far, so congrats to you all. So Dan Caos, Brea Banditos, Evander Costa, Hatsune Miku, and then Magnolia Mags FC. Well done. So key considerations for the round, there is CONCACAF Champions Cup this week. So we've got the Galaxy in Mexico, Miami is at home playing LAFC, and Vancouver is in Mexico. So keep an eye out on these teams if you're targeting anyone to see if those teams are rotating for fantasy. Just keep an eye out on lineups. No teams are on bye this week, and as always, be sure to check the MLS official postings for any injuries and suspensions for this game week. From a premium standpoint for keepers, I like Willis this week. I still feel like Nashville is pretty strong defensively. RSL did put up 2 against a struggling Galaxy squad, so I'm not too confident on them yet. And I like that Nashville defense. They are going to be missing Walker Zimmerman. Hope he, rests up soon after that rough injury. So just keep an eye out. If you do want to spend the budget, I think Willis is a good option. Moving on to standard keepers, I do like Takaoka in Vancouver at home against Austin. They do have CCC, but they've still been, keeping up with their clean sheets. Another good option, I think, is St. Clair with Minnesota. They are playing Toronto. Could just be a good early, matchup you could throw on your bench. And I also do like Schulte at the back end of a keeperoo. They're away against St. Louis, who have definitely been struggling to score some goals. And then from a budget option for keepers, I've got Kuzan from Atlanta. They're mainly because they're playing New England and they've got an early game. Atlanta have not been known for their defense this year, but I still feel like he's a good shout. He's only 5.6 and he'll free up some budget for you. So for premium defenders this week, similar to how I called out Schulte, I like Shaberko. He only got a 3 last week, which is kind of disappointing. Without those passing bonus points, he only got 1. But they are playing St. Louis, who have been struggling to score. And then Veselinovic, of course, also a great option for Vancouver against Austin. And then for standard defenders, I like Orjano this week, mainly for his attacking upside. I do expect DC to score as Benteke has been playing great. It's just that defense for DC United has not looked good, so I like Orjano on the attacking upside. Blackman, also a good option for Vancouver, just a bit cheaper than Veselinovic. Malanda as well, they're playing Montreal. Charlotte is away where their defense isn't as strong, but I still like Malanda there due to his bonus points. And then Alba could be a good flyer at only 7.4. They're playing Chicago, who let in some goals. goals. And yeah, we hope to see Alba sort of get back into his form that we were used to, where he has that, more attacking upside. And then finishing with our budget defenders. So I feel like Lennon is a decent bench play. It has been upsetting he's not been producing from a fantasy standpoint like we've known before, but they are playing New England, so at least there's that clean sheet chance there. Jake Davis for the new SKC after getting that victory 2-0 against St. Louis last week. He is playing out of position, so he's got that offensive upside as well as the chance for a clean sheet. Tate Johnson has looked great for Vancouver. He's only 6.0 and playing Austin at home. And then I do like Awadisu for Houston against the Galaxy. He's that late game option if you need it. He's only 5.8, and the Galaxy have been struggling, and I expect them to be rotated after CCC. So looking at our premium midfielders, I do like Dreyer this week. They're playing at Colorado, so that may be a bit tougher for altitude, but Dreyer has really been producing consistently from a fantasy standpoint. Same for Ojeda. They're playing the Red Bull. There were goals in that last game when the two played each other. And yeah, Ojeda let us down a bit last week, but I feel like he'll rebound. He's been just a great asset from a fantasy standpoint this year. And same goes for Hani. He's really looked a lot better compared to last season, and they're playing RSL at home. And I forgot to mention as well for the premium midfielders, so I think Evander is injured as well as Rusnak, so I would like them this week, but I'm pretty sure they're injured. For my standard price middies, I do like Espinoza. He is away, LAFC, but as you saw on the Dropping Points podcast, I'm still targeting those away players as they have been performing more often than not. So yeah, I like Espinoza. He's coming off a great week, and I expect LAFC to be rotated this game. Same goes for McGlynn. Crazy floor, and he showed his ceiling last week with a goal. So I like that matchup against the Galaxy. Almiron, he scored in his past couple games, and they have a good matchup early against New England. He's at least a bench shout. And same for my call out for Heel. I liked him last week. I don't think he had any goal contributions, but he might have finished on a 6. I feel like a 6 is pretty good, even with no goals. And Atlanta's defense isn't great, so Heel also could be a decent bench option, only costing you 9.1. Then looking at my budget midfielders, I do like Berhalter at home against Austin. He's really stepped up with Gauld being out. Lots of bonus points, and he had that assist last week. Could be a rotation though, so just keep an eye out on lineups. Moreno, I like just because they're playing SKC, and he's really been performing. He's just missing those couple of goals or assists there. So I still like Moreno a lot this week. Same goes for Pereira. I saw a bit from the New York City game on Sunday, and he just looked really good. A couple of assists, some bonus points for key passes. He's only 7.4, so if you need some cheap options, you could always throw him on your bench, as he is that early game this week. And then I've also called out Sverkov. I don't know if I pronounced that right, for San Diego. They're away at Colorado, but he's performing well. I like San Diego a lot. It'll be fun to see, who really performs from a fantasy side. But yeah, if you want a flyer, he's only 7.4, and they're playing Colorado. Looking at forwards this week for premium, I'm pretty sure this is the same exact as last week. Sometimes it's just how it goes with forwards. I feel like last year it was always like Messi, Cucho, and someone else. So I feel like this year it's really like Messi, Benteke, and someone else. So yeah, I like Messi. They're against Chicago. We'll see if Messi's starting. Benteke's got a good matchup I like at home against Cincinnati. And then Chicho and the Earthquakes are away at LAFC, who I expect to be rotated. And then looking at standard price forwards, I like Suarez from Miami, away at Chicago, not known for their defense. Latte Lath at home against New England, always a good bench play, as he does seem pretty goal dependent. And then I do like Tani Oluwaseyi from Minnesota. They're away at Toronto, but he's been doing great. I think he got a goal last week, and he's got that attacking bonus as well. So a good option you can put on your bench with that early game. And then for budget forwards, I do like Russell Rowe away at St. Louis. I feel like we liked St. Louis's defense earlier this season, but they've just been struggling recently. And Russell Rowe had a goal last week. He looked good. Bit of a flyer pick here with Buwanga with LAFC. He's only 7.8 million, but they are at home against San Jose. He's been getting 4s or like 3s and 4s throughout the season. So he's just one goal away from getting that solid score for the week, and I feel like that's a good home matchup against San Jose to do it. Then a fun flyer pick, I've also got Damiani from Philly away at NYC. NYC did let in some goals last week at home, and I feel like there's usually some goals in this matchup for these Eastern Conference teams. And yeah, Damiani has looked good. The Philly is right there when it comes to scoring. I feel like he's a good shout just for 6.3. And then finishing off with captains, it is fun to say I do like Jack McGlynn this week for a captain. You can see his average has been quite high this season, and he just crushed it last week with a 13. He is away at the Galaxy, but the Galaxy have been letting in plenty of shots and chances, goals, all that. So I like McGlynn. Hani as well. He's at home against RSL. I like that matchup. And then Benteke. DC at home against Cincinnati. Benteke, I was worried when I checked early. He had like 0 points, but finished with an 8 last week, so that was great to see. Then, of course, Messi. But, yeah, if he plays, definitely captain Messi. If not, I like these guys. All right, thanks, everyone, for watching. That wraps it up for me this week. As always, good luck.